Now, anyone who plays a bit of PubG Mobile online knows that it is highly competitive these days. If your aim is just a millimeter off, that could mean the difference between a glorious headshot and ultimate victory, or lying face down in the dirt with some guy teabagging the hole in the back of your skull. And if you feel like you need a bit of a helping hand against the competition, then why not check out a mobile gaming controller like the GameSir G6s. This is a fresh new mobile gaming controller designed specifically for games such as PubG Mobile, where it's all about the responsiveness and the accuracy. You get a combination of physical controls and traditional touchscreen controls, with 10 customizable buttons in there, Bluetooth 5 support, and a bit of dual rumble feedback too. You can pick up the GameSir G6s right now from the GameSir website. It'll cost you $50 or around about 35 quid, and is compatible with all iPhone devices iOS 9 and up. The contents of the box are pretty straightforward. You obviously get the GameSir G6s controller itself. You get a micro USB cable in order to power up the internal battery on the GameSir controller as well, because it needs that Bluetooth connectivity with your smartphone. And yes, it is micro USB, not Type-C, unfortunately. And you get a dinky little instruction manual to walk you through the setup process and the actual build of the controller. Now, the pairing process is nice and straightforward. What you'll need to do is hold down the power button down here at the bottom of the GameSir G6s and the Y button together. Just hold them down for about 2-3 seconds, and as you'll see, you'll get a nice purple blinking light. Now we take our iPhone and we dive on into the Bluetooth settings. For the purposes of the testing of the GameSir G6s, I'm going to stick with the iPhone 11. Now your next port of call should be the App Store, and what you'll need to do is search for GameSir's G6s app. Just give G6s permission to use the Bluetooth so it can actually get connected to the GameSir, and then hit connect. And as long as the G6s is still actually powered on, then the two should pair up instantly. Now inside of GameSir's app, you've got all kinds of tutorials to help you out with the G6s. You can update the firmware. You've also got a key test as well, just to make sure that everything's working as expected. Now, actually getting your iPhone into the GameSir G6s is a piece of pie thanks to the pull-out springy system. There's no cables or anything like that to contend with, literally just squeeze it on in there, job done. And the good news is your iPhone is held in there nice and tight and securely. It ain't going anywhere, even if you shake the G6s like a Polaroid picture. Does anyone even get that reference anymore? Probably not. Now what you want to do is tap G Touch, and this will allow you to config the GameSir G6s for PubG Mobile. There's a bunch of other supported games as well besides PubG Mobile. You can check those out on the GameSir website. You've got default settings for a range of iPhones, and I'm just going to go straight in and dive in with iPhone 11 official. You can of course completely configure this to suit your own personal preferences. Just get everything all sized up nicely. And of course you can move all the individual buttons to cover whatever feature you like. You can even set button combinations to call up certain features as well if you find that 10 physical buttons just isn't enough. Now just a quick troubleshooting tip for you. I found that whenever I then hit save and start, I then got this error message, download the game at App Store. So what I had to do was basically quit out of all of this. And in that games list, I had to click add a game, and I then searched for PUBG, and I found that there was an alternate PUBG on there. So I added that. I then had to set up the config from scratch using a screenshot I'd taken of the PUBG control section in the settings. Bit of a ball ache, but hopefully you'll be able to avoid all this shenanigans. Now, little setup complications and ball aches aside, I really enjoyed using the GameSir G6s for my PubG Mobile sessions. First up, absolutely no complaints on the comfort side of things. That curved design means that the G6s just fits nicely to the curvature of your palm. I found that I could play PubG Mobile for literally hours on end without my hand cramping up, my fingers turning numb, anything like that. The button design and everything is fantastic as well. The layout is great. There's enough space between them so you're not accidentally pushing the wrong button at any point. I found that just one PubG Mobile session in, I basically knew where all the buttons were just from muscle memory, so I wasn't having to look at what I was doing. You get nice firm action from all of the buttons as well, and that thumbstick again feels great as well. Nice and responsive, snaps back to a central position without any issues, and I didn't see any problems with drifting or anything like that. Does the GameSir G6s actually give you an edge over the competition when you're playing PubG Mobile? Yeah, I honestly thought it did. It's much easier to aim and strafe and shoot all at the same time using a combination of physical and touch controls. Of course, as with rival controllers like the FlyDigi mobile game controllers as well, you'll find that all of the controls are basically clustered on the same side as the thumbstick, which means it's very hard to move around and press these buttons at the same time. Nigh on impossible unless you've got some sort of weird double jointed flexible thumbs. Personally, I didn't find it too much of an issue. I mapped the jump, aim and shoot actions to the trigger buttons. Those are the ones that I was using more often than not. And then the face buttons, I basically mapped the likes of crouch, reload, open up the map, stuff like that. So stuff that I generally didn't use right in the heat of battle unless I was behind cover. But yes, a more even distribution of buttons between the left and the right sides would definitely be appreciated, perhaps in another version. And yeah, it's a shame that you only get a single trigger button over on the right edge as well. A double trigger setup like you get on the left edge would add a bit more flexibility. But the good news is there's absolutely no noticeable latency using that Bluetooth wireless connection. So as soon as you're twiddling the thumbstick, pressing the buttons, you'll notice the actions appearing immediately on screen. So that's definitely great, especially in the likes of PubG Mobile, where every millisecond basically counts. As for this dual motor rumble effect, well, I couldn't actually get that working with PubG Mobile, so I'll have a bit more of a play with the GameSir G6s, see if I can get that working. If I do, I'll update my thoughts down in the description below. Back in the GameSir app, you can quickly and easily check on the G6s's remaining battery life. It's got a 240 milliamp cell stuffed in there, and frankly, that will last you dozens and dozens of hours of PubG Mobile action. And when the G6s is running low on energy, that LED right there will flash red just to alert your attention. All you got to do is plug it in via the bundled micro USB cable for a couple of hours or so, and that'll be fully juiced and ready for more action. So that's what I think of the GameSir G6s after using it as my PubG Mobile controller. It definitely gives you the edge over the competition, and it's a strong rival to the likes of the Fly DigiWasp and other mobile controllers. As I said at the start of the video, you can grab the G6s direct from GameSir right now for around $50, £35, or on the likes of eBay as well. So what do you reckon? Have you used the GameSir controller before? You're tempted to buy this one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you!